Hello, everyone. We gotta talk about something very urgent that was brought to my attention from my fellow colleagues, thanks to Andy Quinto and Matt Camper from Camper News Network for making me aware of this, as long as our superfan Cuomo Corruption on Twitter. So, officially, Andy's Randomness now has a superfan, and that title goes to Cuomo Corruption. So, he is now our super fan. Thanks to him for always being supportive of this channel. So, we're going to talk about something that happened on Memorial Day, which I have talked to you all about. Matt has talked to you about. Pine Power Ally has talked to you about in the past. But we have an update from a New York Post article, which I will link in the description below. And thankfully, with the iPhone, I can use the reader mode like this, so I can at least show you the article that I just received here. So, a Memorial Day weekend Long Island Railroad derailment is now the subject of a criminal probe. So, here is a picture of the train that was in the incident back on Memorial Day weekend. So, 4 months later, it seems we get an answer. Look at that. The Long Island Railroad derailment that started Memorial Day weekend travel to the Hamptons is a criminal case, the Post has learned. The Federal Railroad Administration report on the mishap, which occurred in the early morning hours of May 25th in Spionk, blamed signal problems and revealed agency investigators were not allowed to interview an assistant signalman due to an ongoing criminal investigation. The Post obtained a copy of the FRA report through a Freedom of Information Act request. So, according to the FRA, they're claiming that they're blaming this on signal problems and revealed that agency investigators were not allowed to interview an assistant signalman. So, that tells you it already makes this whole thing suspicious. So, the FRA report was through a Freedom of Information Act request. The United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District is the investigative agency, the FRA told the New York Post. The U.S. Attorney would not comment. Now, to recap what this accident was all about, this accident happened after a westbound train was returning to New York City without passengers. It pulled off the main tracks into a siding, but the train was too long for the side track, and the rear end of the train struck out onto the main track, where it was struck by the locomotive of an eastbound train with 32 passengers on board. The locomotive of each train derailed, but nobody was thankfully injured in this incident. So, it says here, the eastbound train received an improper signal to go forward because of a loss of electric connection between the train and the rails, the FRA concluded. The train traffic controller also did not know the exact location of the westbound train, the August FRA report says. The situation got worse because the westbound train, unaware that it had been hit, got a signal to proceed and went forward, dragging the derailed locomotive along the track, according to the FRA report. Fuel spilled onto the tracks, causing several small fires, the report said. The MTA said damage to the tracks were extensive. Now, after this incident happened on Memorial Day weekend, and we all might remember, and I'll just give a little refresh, service was suspended east of Patchogue on the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. Travelers were trying to get to the Hamptons and or Montauk, and of course trying to head out to the beach in general, on the Saturday of the busy holiday weekend. It patched together a substitute system of buses and a shuttle train as workers scrambled to get service running again by Memorial Day. Thousands of angry passengers who arrived at Penn Station expected to head east were forced to scrap their plans or contemplate hiring pricey ride services. The derailment happened as tensions between the railroad's rank and file workers and management was worsening. So, of course, they talk about the overtime. We're not going to get into that, but back in early June, a suspected saboteur cut a cable on a fingerprint scanning machine installed at the Long Island Railroad's Jamaica Station. Now, keeping in mind, because of this overtime controversy, it had led to hiring a new inspector general for the MTA. So, I'm not going to get into anything else. Okay, MTA Inspector General was also brought to investigate the derailment, but this is not considered a criminal probe. So, pretty much now, we have to figure out, is somebody going to be held accountable? Because we originally thought when this first happened, this was an accident. So, it gets me suspicious, and I want to hear what my other colleagues are going to have to say about this. Hopefully, Matt Camper from Camper News will do a video about this. I know Andy Quinto's definitely going to do a video about this, and my other colleagues need to figure out what's going on along with me, because this is just out of hand. Again, to think that we all thought that this was just accidental, and now the FRA is claiming that this is not an accident. This might have been done on purpose, or somebody didn't realize that something could have gone wrong, and they realized that the diesel train could have derailed. So, more questions than answers. Speaking of the devil, Andy just texted me. I better get back to him. So, I think with that, I'm going to wrap this all up. So, thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.